When your developer or a prior board has failed to enforce your documents, are you stuck into never being able to enforce your documents in the future? In this video, two of our experts answer that question. Welcome to this HOAleader.com video chat with two of our experts. My name is Gabriella Flisco. Today I'm joined by attorney Scott Weiss of Tennessee and a community association manager, Alex Argento of Florida. And this month we're addressing a news report. It's about a North Carolina board that got turnover from a developer and it restarted enforcement of a rental provision. But then the owners pitched a fit and so they backed down. Their compromise was allowing existing renters to stay, but banning new rentals starting January 1st, 2026. That's according to news reports. So in this video, our experts reveal whether they've seen this situation arise, which is that a new board has to determine how to figure out how whether they can restart enforcement after turnover or a prior board has let violations go unaddressed. So just a note, our experts are providing insights based on the laws and their practices in their state. This is intended to provide you with general guidance you can use when you approach experts in your state. So with that in mind, Scott, have you seen this where a developer at turnover has been really lax or a prior board has been really lax in enforcement?
Yeah, thank you, Gabriella. Absolutely. This kind of thing happens. I don't want to say all the time, but it's certainly not uncommon, especially when it comes to the turnover with a developer. In fact, I just had two meetings this week with boards in the very same situation, with a developer who has not been strictly enforcing the respective covenants in the subdivision. So, yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I can't say that it can never be reinforced. It can never be enforced ever again, but it certainly makes it a lot more difficult if ultimately it ends up in court, because that's where these things go. If a homeowner doesn't voluntarily agree to bring their violation back into compliance, you have to go to court, seek a court order to force them to do that. So it makes it much more difficult when the enforcement has been lax, like you said. One of the things that I've done over the years and that I'll talk to boards about is how to kind of restart, to use that term, so you can begin enforcing that restriction going forward, is to do something called a variance agreement. And so a variance agreement basically is an agreement between the association and the homeowner, which says, yes, there is a violation of the restrictive covenants. This is what it is. This is the violation. However, due to the circumstances specific to this individual situation, we're going to allow the violation to continue. We're just going to allow it to remain in place, whatever that situation might be. Sometimes, like in your example, it could have been a renter. The owner is allowed to rent in violation of a rental restriction, or it could be a fence, just whatever the situation might be. And so it acknowledges the violation, does specifically state that due to the circumstances specific to this, only this one situation, that's going to allow to remain. And there can be conditions in there, such as when the unit owner sells the unit, that violation must be discontinued. Whether if it's a rental situation, once you have a tenant in place, understand if there's a rent leasing agreement, a written agreement, you can't just kick a tenant out. Now they have rights. The tenant themselves have rights in the
Yeah.
property, so they
Scott,
can't just kick them out.
can we hold off on a second? Let's get in
Yeah.
more detail about curing this in the second video. So hold on, Alex,
Okay.
what do
Yep.
you see in Florida?
We see this same thing all the time too. And I think what we have is this idea of what I call urban legend. Like you're a board member or you're a resident and you've just said, "Oh, this has been happening forever and ever." And somebody new brings to your attention that the behavior or the thing that's been happening is not per your documents. And I think for us, the biggest cure-all for me is we're looking to change behavior. We're not looking to incur fines or drive small ball dollars. What we really want to do is have a harmonious community, right? A place that we really want to live in. So what we oftentimes do, will hold a homeowners meeting, a town hall meeting, and go through your documents, show the rule, show the issue at question, show that what may have been done by a prior board, or especially at developer turnover, what may have been being done from the sponsor is just not per your documents. And I think oftentimes when you get people to buy into that, it's easier to resolve the problem going forward. And again, it's without the stick, it's the carrot, right? It's the behavior change.
Yeah, great information, Scott and Alex. Thank you. Listeners, please be sure to click the link below to watch the additional extended video where Scott and Alex talk more about the ways they restart enforcement.